All right, joining us in studio is Western New York veteran broadcaster and all-around good guy in theory, Brad Riter. Brad, thank you so much for coming into the studio here in Niagara Falls. I understand it was fun getting here.
It's a little bit of an adventure, but this is cool, man. This is a cool vibe you've got going on here. I'm excited to sit in on one of these. So many podcasts have become. It used to be just a thing you listen to. Right. Now it's become this visual thing, and I'm jealous of every studio that I see that's set up. That's just like. It looks like everybody's got a space like this except me. I have a dingy basement. Right. When I record a podcast or do any kind of live stream, it's just from a dump basement with no video because I don't like to show myself. There's a reason guys like us.
I don't do the video either.
There's a reason guys like us talk into microphones, not into cameras.
Everybody, when I was on WLVL, people would say to me all the time, you've got a face for radio, and I understood that completely.
Yep, I've had that joke hit me for a long time.
I do have the nice space though. I do remember doing a series of podcasts at your place when you were on. Were you on William Street?
Off of Union, like at my house.
Yeah,
we did. Oh yeah, we had a bunch of people in the upstairs room.
8 shows in a row or something stupid.
Yeah, but
round robin.
What ended up happening there is children. So when you buy a 5-bedroom house and you have no kids, you've got room to set up a studio. Right. So I had a whole a large bedroom that was serving as my office / a studio. But then once we had 3 kids, once we had a second kid, then the nursery kid jumps to the room, so I got kicked out. That's when I got kicked to my basement there. I've since moved, and now I'm in my basement at home. So
you do have an at-home studio?
Studio is a strong term, but I've got the equipment.
You have a microphone and a laptop?
I've got all the stuff, yeah.
Right. So you are a professional podcaster. Now, you actually are a professional talk show host again. I know you were, and then you weren't, and now you are again.
Yeah, I wasn't for 14 years.
Really that long?
It was. It didn't feel like it because the whole time I've been doing UB football. Right. So we were together at WEC / WLVL back in 2000, when would it have been? 2010, 11? 9.
I think I left LVL in 2009.
Okay, so around that era, we were together there, and I already lost my train of thought and forgot what the point was that I was going to make.
Came back to LVL.
When we started, I started at WEC in 2008, and that's the year that UB football went to WEC.
Right.
And I became a part of the broadcast then, and I am still a part of the broadcast. So I've been doing UB football for 16 years. So that has bridged the gap and kept me in the game, kept me around microphones on a professional basis as opposed to just on my own. And then when this opportunity popped up to jump into middays at WLVL a few months ago, I was very excited to do it and ready to do it. I got burned out.
How did that happen, by the way? One day life is normal. The next day, Brad's back on LVL, and I'm and it's not even the same owner.
No,
I don't think a single person that worked there before works there now.
Well, funny you should say that because a single person did work there and does not now, and that's Frank Miller, who was the program director.
So wait, so Frank was there in January?
Frank was there. He reached out to me in December and said, hey, just so you know, I'm the program director at LVL and EBR, and if you're ever interested in getting back on the air, let's have lunch or let's talk or whatever. And one thing led to another, and it turned from, yeah, you could come in and do a show now and then to, do you want to actually have a job and work here and, this is your thing? And I said, yeah. So it evolved from that. Since then, Frank has left. So he's no longer with the station, but I'm still there.
Frank was there when we were there.
Right, as a production guy and kind of helping with everything. Super talented, super good dude.
So Frank is kind of like us in a lot of ways.
A drifter?
Yeah, he
a vagabond?
He does things.
A nomad? Yeah, he does.
Most people have, a job or a career, whereas a lot of the people I feel like I work with, we just do things and get paid for it.
Yeah. Gig economy, that sort of thing, yeah.
And Frank was gig economy before it was a thing. I know he used to do some Financial Times thing back when he was my producer at LVL.
Yeah.
NECK, 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah. And he's the first one I knew that was doing some of the stuff that you do now, like your voice work. He was doing that before it was cool.
Right.
He was voicing network news from the studio in Cheektowaga for a national, or maybe a semi-local. I don't even know what it was, but he's always had those things, and those things have become far more prominent. But it is nice to be settled in, have a time slot. That's what's different between, I guess, radio and podcasting, because I think I'm I think of myself more as a podcaster than a radio host. I just happen to have the reps on the radio side of things. The consistency, show up, get in a car, drive to a studio, and that's what you're doing here.
Right.
But there's a difference between getting a car, drive to a studio, and walk down into basement and turn on microphone.
Without a doubt.
Too many distractions. You don't want to invite just strangers
well, that's actually
into your
the
place.
reason I have this office.
Yeah, makes sense.
I have the capability of working from home. I have a studio at home. I get lost at home. I forget when I'm working and when I'm not,
right.
and life just gets blurry. I found that I needed a place to go so that I had that delineation.
And that's what I'm feeling. I'm counting the episodes of my show, and we're soon going to be at 100. Nobody talks like that. Nobody calls a radio show episode number this or that. But that's kind of where I'm bridging a gap between podcasting and real live radio.
When I took back control of All Western New York Radio in 2016, old friend of mine, Joe Kent, Think So Joe, started doing a podcast on All Western New York Radio. His 450th episode was last week. That's insane.
It's a lot.
One a week, but like almost never takes up 450. This is episode 2 of this show.
All right.
So
that's good.
Yeah.
You'll probably get higher than that.
I'm hoping to get to 4 at least.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. All right. So
I won't discourage anyone.
Back to the LVL thing. So they brought you in as an employee because radio can be shady. They like to sell their time slots.
Sure.
Like, we would like you to come work here, but we would like you to pay us to work here.
Yeah.
And then we would like you to find your own advertisers and hope that you might make money. That was the LVL business model for a long time. I know when you and I were both there, we were employees.
Yeah.
But there were other shows that they
weren't.
Yeah, they paid decent money to be on the air. And when I left LVL, and by left LVL I mean got fired, I was trying to find radio jobs elsewhere, and one of the places that I had gone to, they were like, "Oh yeah, it's $200 an hour," and I'm like, "Wait, you want me to pay you?" I'm like, "No, I thought this was a job interview." They're like, "Oh no, you misunderstood."
Yeah, wow. That does exist. It still exists. I would like it to stop existing during my time slot,
right?
Because as it happens a couple times a month, there's somebody who's been on the air, been doing this, been paying for a time slot for years, and 10 o'clock is when they do it. So I just don't have half of my show. Meanwhile...
So is it like an Ask the Pro thing?
It's exactly that. Right. Yeah, it's exactly that. And
so you're only on when Ask the Pro's not on?
Yeah, but I'm on most of the time.
Right.
Like this week
was... That's funny, though.
Yeah, there's like sometimes it's a full week.
Who does the Ask the Pro interviews?
The radio guy, Eric Cook.
All right.
He sticks around for an extra hour.
Right.
At the beginning, when we were trying to navigate all of this, because it is a weird setup where some people are getting paid, some people are paying to be there. Part of it, I said, well, if it's during my time slot, I could just host it. But then I hear some of these shows, I'm like, I'm not good at playing nice with things that sound super crazy to me. Like, I'm just going to use, this is an example. I won't state the name of the guy. I don't really listen because it's happening down the hall, and I'm getting ready for my show. But there are monitors, so it's like I kind of hear little bits and pieces. But I was asked to like edit the show down and put it on a CD for the guy to take home, and that's when I learned that he has not gotten sunburn for the last 10 or 12 years of his life.
Because he eats cucumbers?
Close. It's because of a dietary change.
All right.
It's because he cut
Fish
out...
oil.
No. It's what he cut out of his diet that prevents him from getting sunburn. The two things he cut out of his diet are celery and limes. Scott, when's the last time you ate a lime? I'm a huge lime fan. I like the flavor of lime. I like lime in a drink. I like lime in water over lemon in water. Yes. I'm a big fan. But I have consumed roughly all lime in 50 years.
I don't know that I've ever eaten
I've never eaten a lime. I've never eaten a lime. I like cilantro lime.
I do like lime in like my rum and Coke.
Sure.
And as far as celery goes, I legitimately cannot remember the last time I had celery.
I'll choose celery over carrots with blue cheese with wings.
Here's the thing.
But again, how much could you have been eating to then cut it out?
Stop doing that. Though.
I know.
You know, you're lucky if you get the blue cheese.
Yeah.
You just get the
or the bag of carrots now, the little sealed. But how much lime and celery would you have to be consuming to be like, all right, I'm out on lime and celery, And now my observation is, check it out, I no longer get sunburn. And this guy just comes on and does that instead of my show. I'm on the air down the hall.
That's awesome.
Thinking I need to get on the air because this guy is telling people in order to not, just don't eat limes and you won't get sunburn. I don't know. So that guy pays to be on the air, and then they pay me to be on the air. And then they also pay me to not be on the air while he's paying to be on the air, which I guess I shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Both those things make sense, though. I feel like if you're going to go on...
Lines and celery?
Well, no, I'm saying, I feel like if you're going to go on the air and say that lines and celery cause sunburn, you should have to pay to say that.
Yes.
Like, free speech should not necessarily be free. Like,
I think that's reasonable. That's a reasonable approach.
Wow.
So that happens once in a while. It cuts into my show a little bit. But for the most part, I'm on 10 to noon, weekdays, Monday through Friday, WLVL, Hometown 1340, and live stream at WLVL.com. And available now in podcast form. I don't like saying it that way, but that's how people talk because the word has been bastardized. At the end of every show, I sit down and I cut out all the news and the commercials and the promos and all that stuff, so you just get the pure talk part of it.
Right.
So it's like an hour and 40 minutes worth of stuff, and that's all available also at WLVL.com.
So that's kind of what we're doing with this. So we got the 2-hour show, and with the music that's embedded and all that fun stuff, and my intro where I talk politics or whatever, and then the 3 different interviews, if you will. And so we'll podcast that whole 2-hour thing. But I will also take this interview and just cut it up so that people can be like, I just want to listen to the Brad part because those other parts are stupid, or vice versa.
Right.
I just want to listen to the other parts because the Brad part is stupid. Right.
I get that a lot.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing with this. Like I said, show 2. Things are interesting. Things are fun. I'm enjoying it. Basically, what it come down to for me is I had some spare time, and I have found, and I feel like you're probably the same. I have found that the busier I am, the more time I have.
Explain.
The more I do, the more I can do.
Yes.
If I sit on the couch and watch television, I will accomplish nothing. But if I, run a website and start a podcast and do this, like, if I load myself up with stuff to do, it's almost like when you go to the gym and you get more energy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like doing things gives me the ability to do more things.
Well, there's absolutely something to be said for like a sedentary lifestyle kind of building upon itself.
Right.
You sit on the couch, you're on the couch, and that's it. If you're scrolling through your phone, you're going to be scrolling through your phone. If you're playing these stupid games on your phone, like I tend to do, I get nothing accomplished. So,
what's your game?
Right now, I've got 2. There's one. Royal Match is the one that had me hooked for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
I get the Royal Match ads all the time.
Okay. I fell for it because I like the cartoonish king. I thought it looked good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So I'm into that one. But the one, I don't even know what it's called. It's like Color Block Match or something. It's like those puzzles where it's like the numbers 0 through 9 and they're the little plastic square thing, and you have to shift them around to get them in the right order. There's one blank space. No. It's like a toy puzzle you would find at like a dollar store.
Okay.
And I remember them from
I know what you're talking about.
It's a square, and it's got a bunch of little squares in it, and one of them is blank, and you have to shift them and keep moving them around. How do I get the 9 over here? And you're trying to put them in order.
Okay.
It's essentially that, but it's colors, and you're trying to make these pieces escape through different doors, so you just have to keep moving things around. I've been stuck on the same level for 2 weeks, and I'm coming at it. Like, I'm thinking about it right now. When I'm done with you,
right,
I'm playing the thing. I got to get past this board.
So I got this bricks and balls game, right?
Okay.
I'm on like level 2000.
It's like a breakout type of situation?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
I have been playing this game for like the last 4 phones.
Wow.
Like, I just keep putting it on the next phone. And fortunately, like, it allows me to keep my level, so
right.
I keep going up. But I will go days on the same level. And
I don't mind it.
Occasionally I like to not think, and it is a great way to just zone out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was my point? Oh, the games. Once I get hung up in those games, I actually look forward to that now as like a respite. Like, I did all the stuff I need to do because I help run a baseball league too. So there's a lot of, I don't have free time. There's either a game or a practice every day. It feels that way, or 2 games, and 3 practices in one night at 2 different locations. Like that kind of stuff is just, it's constant. And I'm in charge of the schedule, and I'm in charge of the rosters, and I'm in charge of all this different stuff. So any time that isn't radio time is baseball time. Mm-hmm. And any time that isn't radio or baseball time is like, ooh, 15 minutes, I'm going to play a stupid game on my phone, and I like it.
Right.
So I haven't let it take me over. But I do crave, that's my relief from all the other stuff that I'm doing. So I don't know if I'm agreeing with your point or disagreeing with your point. But I do think, yeah, when I'm moving, just the drive here, mm-hmm. I was on, first of all, I'm using a map to find this place because I didn't know exactly where it was. And then I must have had, I don't know, 11 text messages and 3 phone calls happen mm-hmm. in the half hour that I was driving here. But I solved a bunch of problems. I have to confirm later, but I got a bunch of stuff done, and it was frantic and hectic. And by the way, I didn't have any gas in my car and realized I didn't have my wallet, so I had to go back in and borrow $10 just to get here. And I told him I'll give him $11 back tomorrow because I'll bring my wallet with me.
Right.
But
assuming you can find your wallet.
I'll find out. I know exactly where it is.
All right.
It's sitting on my desk next to the keyboard because I brought my spare keys to sit on my other key. It's all baseball related. This is all just running around like a psycho. Is what's happening to me.
You got to get one of these.
I have one. Okay, so you just handed me the tile thing from the wallet.
Uh-huh.
You know you can't replace the battery on this.
Correct. You got
to buy a new one.
But it's like every 2 years.
Well, mine didn't even. I don't even think it lasted a year. I bought these tile things. I got.
But I love it. Like, if my phone and my wallet get too far away from each other.
Yeah, I've got this on my phone, or on my keys, rather. We've got one in my wife's purse. I've got one on my wife's keys, and then my wallet one died, and I haven't replaced it.
I also have... Where are my keys? Well, that's not good. Anyway, I have one built into my keys.
Well, that's pretty good.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so my wallet can find my phone, or could when I had the thing, and my keys can find my phone, and my phone can find my keys and my wallet, except the wallet one's dead.
So yeah, if I get like more than 50 yards away from my wallet, my phone rings and it's like, hey,
stupid.
Yeah,
you left your wallet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It also keeps track of my earbuds, which I like.
All right.
That's not tile related, but my phone can tell me where my earbuds are, which is nice.
Cool.
Helps. You need technology to keep track of things.
Right.
Did you know that they have an app that goes with electric toothbrushes for kids so that they brush for long enough?
No, I did not know that.
That one seems excessive.
Do the twinkle, twinkle, little star?
That one seems excessive to me.
Yeah.
Like a kid, I don't remember who I was talking to, but they told me that their kid couldn't brush his teeth because the phone was dead. I'm like, you're doing something wrong.
You're definitely doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So, on that note, All Western New York Radio used to have an app. And over the years, it kind of got outdated, and I needed to replace this, that, and the other thing. And I was going to, get a new subscription so that I could fix the app and put it back in the App Store and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, why? All Western New York Radio doesn't need an app.
No.
There's literally nothing on the app that you can't just get by going to allwny.com.
Right.
And so I decided, no, not everything needs an app.
And I don't want so many apps. I could probably get rid of half of the apps on my phone and be fine. You have to have all the restaurant ones.
Dude, that's all right. So that's actually the most annoying part. And so many of them are just horrible.
They're horrible, but you have to use them or you're going to pay triple.
Yeah.
All the deals are app only.
I actually stopped going to Tim Hortons because their app sucks.
All right.
I'm sure that wasn't their intention.
Mine was because of the food.
Oh, I seldom get the food. But I literally
You're a coffee guy.
I used to go to Tim Hortons on the way here and on the way home and get an extra large triple. And
I drink like a cup of coffee a week, so I don't crave Tim Hortons the way that others do.
And their app was just horrible, and so I started going to Panera.
Okay.
Now, Panera's got this thing. We should get them as a sponsor, by the way, because I'm about to give them a huge plug. They've got this thing called the Sip Club.
Yes.
$12 a month for all you can drink. I can go get a new cup of coffee or a pop or whatever every 2 hours.
They have very good iced teas there.
They do. They have amazing iced teas.
Papaya and stuff.
Yeah. And it's $12 a month or like $100 a year or something like that. And do I like the coffee as much as Tim Hortons? No. Do I like it as much as Tim Hortons when I'm saving literally hundreds of dollars a year? Yeah, it's my favorite coffee.
So are you in the Sip Club?
Oh, yeah.
You did it?
Yeah.
I saw that, and I thought that seems like a good deal if I lived or worked next to a Panera.
Right.
But I don't think I'm going to go to Panera enough, and just for the beverages.
So
it's not worth it to me.
I neither live nor work next to a Panera, but I do pass them frequently.
All right.
You know, there's one in town on the way here, and then there's one here in Niagara Falls that I pass pretty regularly. And then when I'm out shopping, I just stop. There is no doubt in my mind I get my money's worth. I would say I average a cup of coffee a day from Panera.
That's fantastic.
At $10 a month.
You're winning.
Yeah.
You're winning that transaction
winning.
by a lot.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So. All right. So real quick, back to your show.
Yeah.
Now, you're a sports guy, quote unquote. But your show's all over the place now, right?
Yeah, I'm all over the place. I'm a guy who likes sports.
Right.
Like a lot of guys like sports. But I guess when I was working at an all-sports station, I felt the need and I felt compelled to watch, the NHL and NBA playoffs are going on right now.
Right.
And it would never occur to me that I could go a night without turning on the television. Now, I watch the Bills, of course. I watch most of what the NFL puts out there on their night games and stuff, but I haven't watched a full Sabres game in years.
Well, they do make it difficult.
Yeah, well, they just keep losing.
Well, that part too. I'm talking about physically watching. They make it difficult.
Yeah, it's not
because it's only on some third-tier sports network that's only available on Spectrum. And if you are a streaming person, good luck finding MSG.
Yeah, I didn't know that I didn't have Sabres games until people were over at my house and wanted to watch the Sabres game. And then they had to put a different app on my TV. So I use YouTube TV, which is great.
YouTube TV is amazing.
But the Sabres weren't there, and I did not notice until someone was at my house.
That's funny.
So, but anyway, the point is, I think I'm thought of as a sports guy. And UB football means a lot to me, too. I've been doing that for a long time. But I don't just sit and and I go to a lot of Little League games. So like my baseball stuff, it's all Little League baseball. I can't, I'm not going to talk about what happened. I mean, I do sometimes because I talk about what happens in my life. But,
and because crazy things happen.
Crazy things absolutely happen. I have the ability and complete creative freedom to do what I want with the show, and my policy has always been, you don't want to hear me talk about something I'm not interested in. Mm-hmm. You want to hear people in general. You want to hear people talk about things they care about.
Right.
So I'm going to talk about the things I care about, and if you're along with me for the ride, cool. I don't think my show is for everyone. I accept that. But I'm having fun with it, and I'm doing what I like. I'm doing the show I would want to listen to, and we've got people who want to hear it, and some people who don't, and that's fine.
I understand that you've carried on the bird war tradition at WLVL.
It's getting crazy, man. There's a lot of bird stuff. I had a thing recently. Well, first of all, there was a Cooper's hawk, which is about the size of you,
right?
Just hanging out on my
fence,
on my fence for about a week, on and off. So we got a lot of mileage out of that. I saw that thing attacking crows or vice versa. I'm not really sure, but there was an actual battle being fought in the pine tree at Andy's house across the street.
Right.
It was chaos. Yesterday, this is a good one. These birds made love, not war. I heard 3 ducks. I didn't know it was 3, but I heard a lot of quacking. I was walking out my front door, and I heard quack, 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 quack. Look down. 3 of them land. 2 boys, 1 girl. The one guy had his way with the girl while his buddy just watched, which I thought was
videos.
Yeah. He was intently watching.
Yeah.
And then when the I think I called him the penetrator on the air, when he was done,
they switched.
He just left. And then the other dude was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And then she was like, and she took off, and then he took off after her. So whatever happened next, I'll never know because I can't follow ducks on foot. It's not gonna. They're too fast. You don't think of them as fast, but compared to me, they're fast.
Sure.
And I had my truck, but they were gone by the time I got in it. So I don't know what else happened.
Plus, you're doing 70 down, Sheridan, and the cop pulls you over, and they're like, "What are you doing?" You're like, "I'm following the duck."
Yeah. I just wanted to see what happens next.
Yeah.
I wanted to see the sequel to the duck porn that happened in my front lawn. Yeah. It's more the birds fighting each other and then loving each other as opposed to an overall war against birds or with birds between people and birds. I don't know. But it's going on.
Right.
There's bird observations to be made.
So a few years ago, I decided I was going to buy birdwar.com and start a website. And it was parked. Somebody owned it. I could buy it.
Somebody had birdwar.
Somebody had birdwar.com.
Somebody's got everything.
Whatever. At the time, I was flush with cash and stupid. So I made an offer. I'm like, I would like to buy your website domain from you. I was willing to go up to $1,000 to own birdwar.com.
Did you have a plan for it?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
All right.
So I was willing to go up to $1,000. Dude wanted $10,000 for it.
$10,000 for Bird War?
For birdwar.com.
He's a fool. The only person ever to make an offer on Bird War is going to be you. He should have taken what you
offered.
offered.
I got thebirdwar.com for $12.
Yeah. See, dumb.
Yeah.
He blew
Absolutely stupid.
You should try selling that to him.
I should. So actually, if you type in on your phone thebirdwar.com, it will take you to my website, which is scottleffler.com, and it's just posts about the Bird War. So it's scottleffler.com/tag/birdwar.
How recently has it been updated?
A couple days ago.
Oh, okay. So I can use it.
Oh, yeah.
Just make it a source.
Yeah, heck yeah.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah, some Fox News reporter got attacked by a bird on the White House lawn the other day. So that's my most recent story.
Birds are aggressive. I got bit by a duck once.
Did you?
Just in the sock.
All right.
I was trying to get a golf ball from near a pond at a golf course.
Uh-huh.
And apparently that's where the duck eggs were, too.
Right.
And the golf ball looks like an egg, kind of, and I think it all kind of blends together.
You know what,
but
I can see that.
It's just a duck defending its territory.
My worst attack by a bird story was actually I was driving in the middle of nowhere, Ohio, and some turkey vultures dropped carrion on top of my car. My car smelled like the worst for like a month.
That's aggressive.
Yeah. And so from then on, I was like, what's going on with the birds? And
I saw a turkey vulture on my street, and I pulled out, and it looked like, again, I'm going to use you as a point of reference, but it looked like you were eating a dead, whatever, raccoon or something on the street. It was a massive bird.
Immense.
And I backed up because it was like 3 houses down because I wanted to get a good look at it. And as I did that, it took off. And to see this thing, a human-sized bird, it went massive thing, and then it went up on the roof. Do you know how intimidating one of those things looks? Standing on a roof, staring down at you, like, I'm getting the hell out of here. Roll up the windows and go, because it's a battle I'm not willing to fight in this bird war.
Brad, somehow or another, we have passed what was supposed to be our allotted time, which I'm fine with.
Happens. I do this all the time.
But we should probably wrap things up. Was there anything that you wanted, the people to know? Since I have listeners and you're stuck on, WLVL, and you might not have listeners. I don't know.
We have some. Yeah. There's some. They call and they text and stuff. I'm bad at taking calls, though. I'm so bad at it. I noticed that. I'm so bad at it. My overall thought is they're paying me to be here. Why am I going to trust you?
Well, especially since, unless things have changed significantly, there's still live hand grenades, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's no call screener.
No, it's me.
You pick up the phone, you go, hi, you're on WLVL. And 99.9 times out of 100, that's fine.
Yes.
But that 0.1 time, I end up in court.
We had one vulgarity come on the air over the course. I've done, close to 100 shows. We've had one time that somebody swore, but it wasn't like they called in to swear. They were comfortable in speaking. Yep. And they're like, shit. That was it. Uh-huh. And I just let it go and never talked about it again. And so who cares?
Exactly. And usually if you roll past those things, nobody cares. But it is weird that shit is one of the words that you can't say. I feel like it's not a bad word anymore. I feel like maybe there's 3 or 4 words total that you should not be able to say, and shit's just not one of them.
Yeah. What ones won't you say? We don't need to. What do they start with?
They start with consonants.
Yeah.
They all start with consonants.
It's hard to deal with. That's all right.
All right, Brad. Dude, I really appreciate you being here.
Thanks, man. I'll do it again. Let me know.
All right. Happy to. All right. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, what do we got? We got Drew McGrath. Drew and I are going to talk sports, which is weird because I Brad into not talk sports, and then Drew's going to be here to talk sports. And then we're going to close out the show with BD2. And you are listening to Here's the Thing. I'm Scott Leffler, and I certainly appreciate you.